It was just another night at the concert. A packed stadium, a roaring crowd. But then, Taylor Swift noticed someone in the audience, someone she hadn't seen in decades. What happened next would leave everyone speechless. As her eyes scanned the sea of fans, she paused for just a fraction of a second. It was so brief that only the most devoted fans might have caught it. In a crowd of thousands, one face stood out. A face she hadn't seen in decades but could never forget. It was her teacher, the one who had believed in her when even Taylor doubted herself, the one who had encouraged her to dream bigger, take risks, and trust in her music back when it was nothing more than scribbled lyrics in a notebook. A familiar face from her past, one she instantly recognized. Her heart skipped a beat, but she didn't miss a note. Her voice remained steady, even as emotions surged inside her. It wasn't until a natural break between songs during a quick, backstage costume change that she turned to her team. Her voice was low but urgent. "Can someone check if that's Mrs. Jacobs in the third row of the front section? She's wearing a white dress. If it is, let her know I'd love to meet her after the show." The team nodded and quickly set to work while Taylor prepared for the next set. Her heart raced at the thought of seeing her teacher again after so many years, but she kept her emotions in check as she stepped back on stage. Back in the crowd, Mrs. Jacobs sat quietly, dressed elegantly yet modestly, her eyes sparkling with pride. She never expected Taylor to notice her. After all, she was just one person in a massive arena. Now retired, she had carefully saved up to attend the concert, knowing this might be her only chance to see Taylor perform live. She didn't come expecting recognition. She simply wanted to witness the incredible success of her former student, the shy girl she had once encouraged to follow her dreams. As Taylor moved from one song to the next, the weight of the moment lingered in the air. She couldn't help but glanced toward Mrs. Jacobs again, memories rushing back with every look. She remembered sitting in Mrs. Jacobs' classroom, nervously strumming her guitar for a school talent show audition. She could still hear the quiet yet powerful words of encouragement. "You have something special, Taylor. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Those words had carried her through her toughest days, pushing her forward when doubt tried to hold her back. The concert roared on, but for Taylor, this night had taken on a whole new meaning. It wasn't just another performance, it was a moment of gratitude, a chance to finally thank the person who had unknowingly shaped her path all those years ago. By the time the final song ended and the stadium lights dimmed, Taylor's team had already escorted Mrs. Jacobs backstage. The crowd slowly began to disperse, unaware of the emotional reunion that was about to unfold behind the scenes. Mrs. Jacobs walked through the winding hallways, led by Taylor's team. Her heart pounded with every step. She clutched her purse tightly, unsure of what to expect, but completely overwhelmed by the surreal nature of it all. Was this really happening? Could Taylor truly remember her after all these years? The team finally stopped outside a modestly decorated room, where the faint sound of Taylor's voice murmuring beyond the door could be heard. One of the assistants gave Mrs. Jacobs a reassuring smile. "She's right inside," they said softly, holding the door open for her. Mrs. Jacobs took a deep breath and stepped inside. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Taylor stood in the center of the room, still in her concert attire, but with a towel draped around her neck, her face glowing from the adrenaline of the performance. When she turned and saw her, her eyes welled up instantly. "Mrs. Jacobs," she whispered, her voice breaking. In just a few steps, she crossed the room, pulling her former teacher into a warm, heartfelt embrace. "I can't believe it's really you." Mrs. Jacobs, always poised, managed a soft laugh despite the tears glistening in her eyes. "And I can't believe you still remember me," she replied, her voice thick with emotion. They sat down on a small couch, and for a few moments, the world outside seemed to disappear. Taylor leaned forward, hanging onto every word as Mrs. Jacobs shared her journey since retirement. "I've been following your career, Taylor," she said, her voice filled with pride. "Every single step of the way. I felt so proud, but I never imagined I'd ever see you perform live, let alone have the chance to speak with you again," Mrs. Jacobs said, her voice filled with emotion. Taylor smiled, her expression a mix of nostalgia and deep gratitude. "You were the first person who ever told me I could do this," she said softly. "When I was struggling to find my place in the world, your words gave me the confidence to keep going." I don't think I ever truly thanked you properly. Mrs. Jacobs waved her hand dismissively, shaking her head with a warm smile. You were always destined for something special, Taylor. I just pointed out what was already there. The rest, you did all on your own. But Taylor wasn't having it. She shook her head, her voice firm yet full of emotion. No, you did more than that. You believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. That's something I will never, ever forget. This moment wasn't just about reconnecting. It was about showing Mrs. Jacobs how deeply her words had mattered, how much of an impact she had made without even realizing it. Taylor leaned back, her eyes sparkling with a newfound determination. You know, she said softly, I think it's time I pay it forward. Mrs. Jacobs looked at her. Curiosity piqued. Pay it forward, she repeated, tilting her head slightly. Taylor, you don't owe me anything. All I ever wanted was for my students to believe in themselves, to know they were capable of achieving great things. Taylor's smile widened, her gratitude and resolve shining through. And that's exactly what you gave me, she said. The belief that I was capable of doing this. You changed my life. The conversation continued long into the night, both women reminiscing about the past, sharing stories, and marveling at just how far life had brought them. By the time their reunion came to an end, Taylor had made up her mind. This wasn't going to be just a fleeting moment. She was going to do something that truly honored Mrs. Jacobs, something that would keep her legacy alive for generations to come. She was going to honor Mrs. Jacobs in a way that would leave a lasting legacy. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight streamed through her hotel room window, Taylor sat with her laptop open, a determined expression on her face. The reunion with Mrs. Jacobs had stirred something deep within her, something she couldn't ignore. She knew this moment couldn't end with just a simple thank you. It had to be more. It had to be something lasting, something truly meaningful. Taylor reached out to her team, gathering them for an early morning meeting. I want to set up a scholarship, she announced, her voice firm yet brimming with emotion. Something in Mrs. Jacobs' name. It'll support students who want to pursue the arts but might not have the means to do so. Her manager looked at her, a bit surprised by the sudden decision, but immediately supportive. Do you have a specific school or program in mind? He asked. Taylor didn't hesitate for even a second. It has to be the school where I studied, where Mrs. Jacobs taught, she said. That's where it all started for me, where I first learned to believe in myself. Taylor personally chose the name, a tribute to the woman who had encouraged her to embrace her creativity and never be afraid to dream big. As her team worked behind the scenes to bring her vision to life, Taylor wanted to do something personal for Mrs. Jacobs right away. Sitting at a small desk in her room, she carefully picked up a pen and began writing a heartfelt letter in her neat, deliberate handwriting, one that would express everything she had never said before. Dear Mrs. Jacobs, I've said it before, but I can't say it enough. Thank you. Seeing you again reminded me just how much your words shaped my life. You'll never truly know the impact you had on me, how your belief in me gave me the courage to chase my dreams. I wanted to do something to honor you and the incredible difference you've made in so many lives. So I've started a scholarship in your name at our school, the Jacobs Arts Scholarship. It's dedicated to helping students who dream of a future in the arts, but might not have the means to pursue it. My hope is that it will inspire others the way you inspired me, encouraging young dreamers to believe in themselves just as you once believed in me. With all my love and gratitude, Taylor. Taylor carefully folded the letter, placing it inside an elegant envelope. To make the gesture even more special, she included a framed photo of the two of them from the night before, a memory she wanted Mrs. Jacobs to cherish. Alongside it, she added a bouquet of vibrant sunflowers, Mrs. Jacobs' favorite, as she had casually mentioned years ago in class. Taylor hoped these small tokens would express just how deeply grateful she truly was. The next afternoon, a delivery arrived at Mrs. Jacobs' modest home. She opened the door to find a courier holding a beautifully wrapped package. Curious, she took it inside and gently unwrapped it. As she unfolded Taylor's letter, her hands trembled and her eyes filled with tears. The heartfelt words touched her in a way she never expected. She placed the letter carefully on the table, glancing at the framed photo, memories rushing back. But it wasn't until a few days later, when a former colleague called her, that she learned about the scholarship. "Did you see the news?" her friend asked, excitement clear in her voice. "Taylor Swift started a scholarship in your name. It's all over the school's website. They're calling it the Jacobs Art Scholarship." Mrs. Jacobs gasped, her heart swelling with pride and disbelief. "Taylor didn't have to do this," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Well, she wanted to," her friend replied. "You've always been the kind of teacher who leaves a mark." Mrs. Jacobs sat quietly for a long time, staring at the framed photo of her and Taylor, her fingers gently tracing the edges. She whispered to herself, "I never imagined the shy girl with a guitar would one day touch my life in a way I'll never forget." Stories like these take time, heart, and effort to create. If this story moved you, please consider supporting us. Even a small contribution helps us continue sharing meaningful, inspiring stories like this. Thank you for being part of our journey.